Hey YouTube, well, welcome to Coop Star Cards. I'm here with Greg Farley. He just made top 4 at our locals with a new spicy deck that I would like to see myself, and I'm sure other people would like to see. My channel would just be about just different deck profiles that are just interesting, and I saw his list and I just wanted to see what it was all about. What was your matchup, Greg? What'd you play against?
I played all rogue wildness. I played this guy. He's the master of Mech Knights.
yeah, Mech Knights.
Tenyi. I played one meta deck, and then the rest was just a lot of like Pendulum. I beat this name.
Okay, bet.
It was some other Pendulum deck, but I'm gonna get into it.
Okay, let's get into that list.
Play 3 Blue Tang. Right now, this card is the best starter in the game. Like the best starter, without question. If you've ever played Salamangreat, it's Foxy and Gazelle in the same card. Yes, it has some this deck has drawbacks that Salamangreat doesn't, but as far as being a starter, you can't get better than this card. Like, I haven't seen it in a very long time. Plus, it just looks good.
Yeah, it's one of the best looking cards
in the game. And then the original starter, which is Seahorse, it came out last set. She's like a Crusadia out of your hand. So you like, the combo is you normal summon her, you dump her. If you open both of them, then you dump the next one that I'm gonna show. And then you just spam the board. This deck loses hard to Nibiru and Ghost Ogre, but sometimes you just gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it. You gotta build your board. If they Nibiru you can kick back. You can hold back a little bit. It's a resource game. That's this whole deck. 3 Mandarin. She's the small one. If you have 2 Marincess monsters and there's a link arrow somewhere, you special her out of the hand or the graveyard, which is broken because being able to just spam a monster out of your hand like that is just really, really powerful. She's gonna get the hollow treatment later on. She has to. The card just looks too good to be just a rare. She doesn't really put a lot of damage. She's only 100, but it is what it is with that. Switching it up now. That's all the Marincess cards. There's another one coming in the next set, but Swap Frog is disgusting.
Yeah, it's one of the best water monsters right now. Like almost ever.
Maybe ever, yeah. It just is what it is with that. It's a little bit strange with this. I feel like you don't need Duke Frog, but it is nice to have like one of the Link 3 monster with this. It almost makes your board unbreakable, but you don't need it. You could have 2 Ronin Tonans, and I played as Ire, so I feel like this could just be 2 Ronin Tonans. You can mess around with the math behind all this, but I feel like I don't want to. The math behind these are horrible. This card is nuts. These cards are horrible to draw, so I'd rather not draw them.
Yeah.
That was my reasoning behind it. It's still working with the deck, so if the ratios are off, they're just going to be off. 3 Ash, obviously. This is a little bit different. I might change it up. I actually do have it changed up usually. Sometimes I don't main these, sometimes I do main these. Most of the time, these are Phantasmes as well. Phantasme is very, very welcomed in this deck. It's a really good card. And then 2 Ogre. Everybody doesn't expect Ogre, and that's why I'm playing it right now. Everybody kind of is like, oh, nobody's playing Ogre, and then they walk into Ogre. Literally, that happens at least 3 or 4 times every time I play this deck. So right now, I love Ogre. Obviously, you can make some modifications and put Veiler in here somewhere as well. Phantasme into Veiler. Phantasme into any of these is just nuts. It's really, really good. Getting the spells. 3 of the card that's going to be high priced for a long time because there's another Attic Mistress coming out after this. Salamangreat, you got this deck. You got the regular Cyber stuff. Sign-in mining is sign-in mining. It's worth its price tag to me. 3 Cyclone. I can't do anything to Crescendo. I can't do anything to the Salamangreat counter trap. There's just certain cards you cannot deal with, and Cyclone cuts right through them. There's nothing to really talk about with that. Forgive me for having comments.
Y'all saw that too, bro. But that's cool.
I don't like desires like that. Shout out to Paul Cooper. I was listening to his deck profile, which shout out to his channel. I was listening to his deck profile. I don't really like desires like that. Like, I always draw into the other one. I don't really want to play just one because that's just like, okay, just play something else. I very rarely banish something that I need because most of the time I can combo off of one card and then draw hand traps. That's usually what it boils down to. But this is pretty much standard, but I don't like this irons. You can make it something else. Then it gets a little bit interesting. I play 2 Call by the Grave because I don't like 3. I hate having 3 against a matchup that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it can clog.
The Field Spell, this is the most important card that nobody's going to understand. Basically, this is this deck's version of Sanctuary, Salamangreat Sanctuary. It's a huge attack boost. Your monsters usually go up if they get equipped by 2,000. And then it's easily recoverable with the Link monsters. It's not the most important. What people don't understand is they think it's super duper important and you can't play without it, and it's just not true. Like, this card isn't Toon Kingdom. It's a strong card, but you can still play your deck without it, still play the resource game. This deck's strength is the resource game. A lot of people think the strength is this card, and it's just not true. And then round out the hand traps, 3 impermanents. The card is nuts. There's nothing to really say about impermanents. And then 3 of their own impermanents, which this is the card you got to worry about. This card is impermanence. If you have a high link monster, it comes flying out of their hands. Even if you get interrupted and you only have like a link 1 or link 2, you just set it. It's still impermanence where it negates an effect. And then it's kind of like a Eagle Booster. After that, it protects all your Marincess cards that you currently have on the field, which is really, really strong and people forget about.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay.
Then get into
Side deck.
Get into side deck. 3 Super Poly. Kind of speed this up a little bit. 3 Super Poly. This is just stuff I feel like you can play all the time. Whatever it is, you know, like, I'm not attached to Crow. The Crow is really good sometimes. It's horrible sometimes. Lancia is Lancia. Pankratops is probably what I'm going to stick with, because Pankratops, just drop it on the board for free before you do anything. You know, you need it against Altergeist, blah, blah, blah.
Bro, y'all food yummy. I'm hungry as hell. These niggas. Yo, shout out to their food real quick, y'all. That shit look yummy. I'm hungry too. This beer not cutting it, but all right. On to the extra deck. All right.
Wonderheart, she's the card that you got to know about, because she has a good new game mechanic. When she equips off the field spell, and then when she attacks, she specials the equipped monsters. They're equipped spells and they turn back into monsters because of her, which is, you know, it's a new mechanic that just doesn't exist in the game. Kind of Crystal Beast-ish. This deck is like if Crystal Beasts were good.
Yeah.
Crystal Heart is really important to make them unaffected, like the big Link monsters makes them unaffected. And it's also how you play around Nibiru. I could explain the combo, it would take me a long time. Just make this, and then if they Nibiru you and you have a swap frog, then you just make a Link anyway. You know. Yeah. A lot of people try to catch you and they miss. Marbled Rock and Anemone. This is why the deck is good. They recur resources endlessly. Like, this can keep getting her back. This can keep getting her back. She protects from battle by pitching a Marincess card, which is, you know, it's not once per turn. So if I have a handful of Marincess, I'm just going to protect everything on my field. You can't kill it by battle. The end. And then, you know, you obviously have this to stop effects. And then these just keep reoccurring resources, and you chain block with her a lot when you summon. Then the little ones, you got Slug. She's like the starter Link. She locks you in the water, which this one does too. They lock you in the water monsters, kind of like Stylio, Mirage Stylio, but, you know, they're the starters that you have to have. She's the spell searcher. She's the spell searcher, not the field spell searcher, but the spell searcher. So that lets you know Marincess is getting something down the line.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. That deck sounds crazy right now.
Yeah. And then Toad. This is an open spot. I feel like Ningirsu is a possibility. This is a good possibility. Boral Sword. But you get locked in the water, so you have to be careful. And then my last 3 are Nightmare Phoenix and Super Poly targets. I'm just going off what the locals is right now. These will change before a big event, you know. And then shout out to the tokens, you know, Wise Guys tokens.
All right. We got a couple more minutes. You want to give any shout outs, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's only, it's just local top 4, but this deck sounds definitely interested, and I'm definitely going to get some support. You got any shout outs?
This deck has support coming for sure. Shout out to everybody in Kansas City, you know, everybody that has a team, everybody that's a good player. Shout out to your channel, you're just starting.
Coopstar cards, please comment, like, and subscribe. Yep. And then I'm gonna link his channel here, Wise Guys. And and we're out. Thanks for watching, guys.